Hey everyone, welcome to the kind of prequel to 7 Days of Congress. I'm basically just going to do my foundation, my contour, my highlight, that kind of a thing in this video, and that way I'm going to use the same base for all of the eye looks, so you won't have to do a total different face look, and we can just reference back to this video. Wow, my hair is crazy. What I'm going to focus on is longevity for the most part, and then also kind of making your face look more structured when you're out on the rail since you're at such a far distance away. So first of all, you're going to need to know your skin type. If you have oily skin, you want to use mattifying products. If you have dry skin, you want to use hydrating products. If you're in the middle, it's pretty easy for you. You can use almost anything. So I have more dry to normal skin at the moment, so I'm going to show you what I do and I will tell you what steps to change if you're more oily. So the first step is you want to prime. Priming is going to make your makeup last longer, and the specific primer I use makes your makeup waterproof, so through all that sweat and stuff, it's gonna last. Now if you have more oily skin, you can totally just stick with this. This is the Mineral Veil from Hourglass. This is the one that makes your your makeup waterproof. But what I do, since I have a little bit more dry skin, as of lately at least, I've been using the Smashbox Primerizer because this one's really moisturizing. So I pretty much go in with 75% this, 25% this, just to give it a little bit more hydration. If you also have like a lot of texture or pores on your skin, you can use a pore filling primer as well. Now for foundation, it really depends on your skin type. I have a lot of favorite foundations for horse shows. I like the Derma Blend, I like Bare Minerals Bare Pro, I like some of the Maybelline ones, I like L'Oreal, I like a lot of different ones. So depending on your skin type, you really have to know your skin type to know which foundation to use. I will list in the description a bunch of my favorites for different types of skin types, but today I'm going to mix the Maybelline Dewy and Smooth with the Danessa Myricks Cover Cream. I think it's called Vision Cover Cream. This is super pigmented, so I'm just basically adding more coverage to this, and I'm just going to kind of play around and see how this goes, but stick to a foundation you know and love and have tried at horse shows, and if you want something new, I will leave everything in the description for what I like. I always look so freaking pale on camera, but when I go and edit it, I just adjust the lighting, so hopefully this will turn out. But another little tip, if you feel like your foundation's a little heavy or you just want to make sure it doesn't feel heavy, go back over it with a beauty blender just to absorb the excess product, and it'll add a little bit more hydration to your skin as well. Now moving on to highlight and contour, I really like to do a bright under eye and a strong contour for horse shows, just because you lose a lot of that definition in your face when you're either on the rail or like with showmanship with your hat giving you shadows and whatnot. So do what you're comfortable with, but I am going to show you what I typically do for horse shows. So again, it's really going to depend on your under eye. If it's dry, if it's oily, if it's just mature, you're going to want to use a lot less product. One really good one for dry under eyes is the Becca Aqua Luminous Perfecting Concealer. So that's a really good one. It doesn't have a ton of coverage, but what I would do is just mix it in with something that does have a lot of coverage. This is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. This one's a lot more matte, but it does have a lot more coverage, and this one is lighter than this. So today that's what I'm going to do. What I do is I keep the Becca one a little bit closer to my under eye, and then I use the NARS one more to highlight. A great one too if you have oily skin or you just need a ton of coverage is the Tarte Shape Tape. That one's an awesome one. For me, it gets a little bit drying, but it does have a lot of coverage. It really just depends on what you're going for. And I always use a beauty blender to blend out my concealer just because I feel like it keeps it nice and hydrated, especially under the eyes. You don't want your under eye to look dry, that's for sure. So a quick tip to make sure your under eyes don't crease, I immediately set my under eyes once I'm done putting my concealer on, and then I don't set the rest of my face yet. I love the Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder. This one really blurs out any pores or fine lines, and it's just really nice and lightweight on the skin. You can also use a method called baking, which is putting a basically an excessive amount of powder under your eye to really lock in the cream products to your skin. I'm not doing that right now just because my under eyes have been a little bit more dry, so but it will make your concealer last longer, and the trick if you don't want it to look dry is just go in and set it with a bunch of setting spray afterwards. Now this is something that not everyone likes to do, but I really like doing, especially on my face shape. I've been contouring my nose with the Milani Contour and Highlight Stick. I just use the contour side of this. And what I do, especially on your nose, you don't want to go in with powder products because it's going to cling to all the texture. At least on my nose it does. So the perfect combination I found for nose contouring is the Royal & Lane Nickel brush with that Milani contour stick. I take some on the brush. I've made the mistake, and I don't know how people get away with it. If you draw the lines on your face or your nose, whatever, it's really hard to blend out, and you usually have way too much product. So I just contour the sides of my nose. And then blend down just a little bit. Again, with my camera right now, the contrast is way off, so I'm going to try to fix that. I know you can't see right now, but it really helps to slim down the nose and just make it look like, you know what I mean? I always do this. I put stuff places when I'm filming and I don't remember where I put them. So, I lost the lid to this. Now, another thing I like to do, especially for showmanship, well, I like doing it all the time, but I like showmanship because it's really up close and you want to like just accentuate your natural features. I like going in with a liquid illuminator. This is the Anastasia Liquid Glow in Pearla. So this one, I feel, well, any liquid highlighter, it just sits on the skin. It looks a lot more natural as opposed to if you go in with a powder, it kind of like sits on top of the skin. It looks powdery a lot of the time, not all the time. So using a liquid just helps it to sink in and look more natural. I just put it on a beauty blender and go on the tops of my cheekbone. And then I personally still top it off with powder highlighter, but if you're not into it, your really glowy look, then you don't need to do that. And you don't even need to do this step if you don't want. But highlighting your cheekbones will help bring them forward and it makes you have that really healthy looking glow to your face. However, a lot of people when they're oily don't like looking glowy at all, so if that's the case, you can totally skip this. I just put some, whatever's left on the tip of my nose and Cupid's bow. But just glowy, healthy skin that looks hydrated is so beautiful in my opinion. So that's what I do for my skin. Now again, depending on your skin type, you may want to set your foundation, you may not. I always set my under eyes, and even though I have dry skin, I 99% of the time will still set my face. The only one I've been able to not set my face with is the Bare Minerals Bare Pro Liquid Foundation. So I'm just going to set my face with the Mercier Candleglow powder. This is a great one for dry or mature skin because it does take away that stickiness of the foundation without making you too matte or dry looking. If you have more oily skin, just the Mercier translucent powder is a great one, or if you want something super mattifying, the Makeup Forever, what do they call it? Like the velvet powder or something like that. Now, I like to go in and highlight my cheekbones first. This is kind of a new thing I've been doing because it's actually a Makeup Forever like strategy or thing they do. So if you go in and highlight your cheekbones first with the powders, you will be able to see where to naturally contour your face too. So it makes it a little bit easier. I really like the Champagne Pop for Becca, but like I said, I like something really intense, so I've been using these, it's the Strobe and Glow by the Academy of Color. It's from Kohl's. So I think, let's see, $12.99. These are really intense, which I like. If you don't like intense, definitely don't go with this palette. Some really nice natural ones are the Too Faced little heart-shaped ones. These are really good, like natural looking highlight. So I'm just gonna mix these two shades here. See, as I like put on more makeup, my camera starts to adjust to my face. It's funny. Look at my camera can't even like figure out how to focus on my highlight because it's so blinding. I love the little nose highlight. Again, if you're oily, definitely don't do the nose highlight, but it's nice. Alright, so I'm back to looking like a ghost. For contour, I put all my favorite contour powders into a big Z palette. These ones are MAC. These are Kat Von D. These are Kat Von D highlights. This is the Milk Chocolate from Too Faced, and then a NARS bronzer. So honestly, I really stick between, I usually will mix these two from MAC, which are Taupe and Sculpt, or the two lighter shades in the Kat Von D. But I'm going to show you a little trick for a really, really defined contour. So I'm going to mix the MAC ones together. I'm using my IT Cosmetics. It's a blush brush. It's just angled. And I actually start higher up than my cheekbone. So like, this is the top of my cheekbone, and this is the hollow. I kind of go starting here and bring it into the hollow. And that makes you look super slim. And then just run it up all the way into the hairline and on the temple, back down and around, just back and forth like that. This is really where all the magic happens. It's really going to bring that definition back into your face, especially when you're out on the rail. So I would highly recommend doing a little contour. Now I kind of, with the two shades I use, I'm almost bronzing my skin as I do this. A lot of people go in with a second bronzer, and I still do that sometimes. It just kind of depends on my mood. But I really like to use these two shades and use it as a contour and bronze. And just bring it up to my forehead a little. Not that you're going to see your forehead when you have a hat on, but just to make it all blend. I'm not big on defining the jawline, but I just sweep a little along the edges just to, again, add more definition. Now, if you have a double chin or you just want to make this part look more slim, what you can do is you place the product here and blend it down. And you don't want to bring it down past, like, here. But that's going to see, like, if I have my little line here, if I look straight on at you, that actually slims all that down and makes it look like it's, like, super skinny. Now, my little trick, if you want to have a really defined contour, and I love this for horse shows, is I take a really fluffy thin brush. This is the MAC 137. I know Morphe has one similar to it. And I take the darkest shade from the Kat Von D palette. It's this guy right here, which is like super dark. One little tap of it. And I'm going to put it at the very deepest part right about here of that contour to make it like extra dimensional. Now for blush, it really depends on the look I'm doing on my eyes. I'll probably let you guys know in every eye tutorial what I'm doing, what I do for my blush. I also have a blush palette, and I have other blushes also, but these are the ones that I have like depotted. So with this, like, it's more of a dark brown smoky eye, but the crease is really warm. I like to go with Taj Mahal from NARS. This is a really pretty one, but just like this is Blush Baby, I think it is. Yeah, this is Blush Baby from MAC. That's a really good neutral one. Lancome, I think this is, oh jeez, this is dangerous. A Plum, or Aplum, or A Plum, I don't know. That's a really good one if you have more like of a medium skin tone, just as a neutral blush. But like I said, I match it a lot to what I'm wearing. Or if you want to finish this like glowy look going on, the NARS Orgasm or the Flower Beauty PB4 Warm Hibiscus, pretty much the same as the NARS Orgasm. It's a really nice peachy glowy blush. So like I said, I'm going to use Taj Mahal today, and I just put it on the apples. And this specific color, it looks crazy in the pan. It actually works almost as a bronzer, and it does have a little bit of a glow, but it just adds more warmth to your face rather than looking like orange. But it's a really pretty one. Now the last step to really make sure your makeup's going to last all day, at least your face makeup, is setting spray. I have a couple different favorites. The Hangover from Too Faced is great if you have really dry skin. It has coconut water in it, so very hydrating. The Kat Von D Lock-It is a super great one just to lock your makeup in place. It does work, like it's fine on my dry skin, but I do think it helps to control oils a little bit. And then if you want one that really controls oil, either the Urban Decay De-Slick or the Cover FX Mattifying both help to control those oils. So I'm going to use the Kat Von D today. And that's just going to make sure everything sinks into your skin, makes it look more like skin and less like makeup, and it really helps it just to lock everything in place. So this is the Flawless base that I'm going to use for this whole series. It's a really full coverage, long-lasting look, so it's really going to last you through the entire horse show, pretty much as long as you use that primer, and these foundations I trust with my life, so those two will definitely last. You can change it up, like I said, depending on your skin, and I will leave down in the description box different things for oily skin and different things for dry skin, and you can kind of go through that and see if you have any or if you want to try something new. Any of those are going to be good, but this is what I came up with. It's really nice, defined, like I said, full coverage. It's a look that's going to last you, and how many more times can I say that? If you want to see how I got this look, this is going to be day 1 of 7 Days of Congress. This is the showmanship look. It's a little sneak peek. But yeah, that should be up coming up. I don't want to say exactly depending on when I get this edited and up, but it will be coming up. So I hope you guys like this. If you're ready and excited for 7 Days of Congress, give this video a big thumbs up. Tell me your thoughts down below. I'm so excited to bring to you guys some new looks, and yeah, you guys have a great day. I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.